I'll throw the overview on. Hey guys, we'll get started in 1 minute. Yeah, tell them to join in. Why would they not?
Virtually?
Yeah, 1 minute, guys. We'll get started. All right, cool. So we're going to get started here in the office instead of the conference room. So we have some people that are coming in as well, but I'm using my phone here. That should be a good little setup, right? Can you guys hear us?
Yes. Change the scenery.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, all right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. What's up, Andre?
How are you?
Yeah.
Hey, top dollar.
And I'll go over the rest of this with you later. All right. Can you put the music button on down over there?
Yes.
Thanks, man. Okay, guys. Welcome this morning. We've got everybody on the call. What's shaking? Any specific questions from anybody today? Any questions to get started with? I'm always, always want to open up with that. I heard someone say one time, they said, I don't know what you don't know. I don't know what you don't know. So I'll just start talking about some random stuff if you don't give me some direction. And it might not even be applicable to what you're looking to gain or learn from today.
Big cheers in here. You got an audience.
Hey, all right, let's go. Let's go.
You're a good picture right there. Up to the window.
I mean, so we're gonna sit right there?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so any questions to get started with the crew here today? Any questions?
Question.
All right.
I know we go through a process of like solidifying an appointment, but could you maybe give like recommendations on how to solidify maybe a little harder, just to obviously, like for example,
Solidification on the phone.
right? So like example, you're on the phone with a client and let's say they're driving, so they're not in front of their computer, so you can't like have them hop on the Zoom right away.
Yeah.
How would you solidify that appointment a little?
Yeah. So obviously that's going to be a setting appointment for later. It's not a right appointment. You're going to be running right away, and they're driving down the road. Obviously you can send them a text message, right? Yeah, text messages are great because people these days, when you get a text message from somebody, it's usually like someone you already know, right? So I try and use when I call people. I notice sometimes some people will call somebody and their name might be Robert, right? And they'll call them and they'll say, "Hi, hey Robert, this is Tom Vena with American Income," and I would typically say, I'd call them up and say, "Hi, Rob. Hey, Rob, this is Tom Vena with American Income. Did I call you Rob or Bob by any chance? I just want to make sure I got that right. If a guy's name is Michael, right, I'm going to call him up and I'm saying Mike. Hey, Mike, this is Tom Vena with American Income. I always use, instead of Jonathan, what do you want I call? John, right? When somebody calls you and they use your first name, if somebody called me and they said, "Hey, hello, Thomas," guess what I'm thinking? Telemarketer. Who is this guy? They don't know me, So just by that one little thing right there helps with the with setting the appointment, with them being comfortable with you. But another way to take it to that level is through text message too. So the guy called me. He was call me Tommy, call me Tom. He didn't call me Thomas. And then he said, "Oh, no problem. I'll just text you the information for an appointment. If you could just reply back yes or okay, just to let me know that you have it, that you got the message," right? So you could send them a text message and say, just reply back the word confirm. You could say something like that, just so that I know that you got it and I can make sure that you're locked into my schedule. So, but stuff you can say at the end of a presentation is, you already booked, or this afternoon of a phone presentation, if I might add. Oops. And you already got the time set. So Joe, I have a very busy schedule, but I can squeeze you in tomorrow between 4 and 5, or I can catch up with you guys between 6 and 7 tomorrow night. Which time works best for you and your wife? He says, well, probably a little bit later. Okay, great. So 6 to 7, we'll make sure we get you squeezed in there. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper for me, Joe. I have to give you some very important information. Let me know whenever you have that ready. Go ahead, take your time. Always tell them take your time. Okay, they like to hear that, you know, and it makes it seem like you're not like, I don't know, like that much in a rush. You're still going to be, a rush because you have to have some urgency over the phone. But I always tell them when I tell them to grab the pen. So I said, go ahead, grab the pen and paper. I have some important information for you to write down that I need you to write down. And if they're like, oh, I got to go get it or whatever, I always tell them, go ahead, take your time. No big deal. Whenever you're ready, let me know when you're ready. And then whenever you're ready, I give them my name. I say, so the first thing that I need you to write down is I need you to write down my name. First name is Tom. Last name is Vena. That's V as in Victor, E-N-A. Okay, now the next thing, Joe, is I need you to write down our date and time, which is going to be Tuesday, October 20th, between 7 and 8 p.m. And if you could, go ahead and stick that up on the refrigerator or somewhere where you won't forget about me swinging by. And please make sure that you let your wife know as well. I sure would hate to catch Mary off guard, tomorrow. Now, Joe, for tomorrow, I run a very busy schedule. I have a lot of members that I need to catch up with tomorrow, but I will be able to be with you guys between 7 and 8. But I just need to make sure, Joe, is there any reason why the tomorrow between 7 and 8 would not work for you and your wife? No? Okay, so between 7 and 8, is there any reason at all why you guys wouldn't be on that Zoom call, or if it's at home, I say why you guys wouldn't be home tomorrow? No? I double checked it twice right there. I say no? Okay, great. Because if I give this time slot to you, then I'm not going to be able to give it to one of the other members that need their benefits. So I just need to make sure, Joe, that tomorrow between 7 and 8 works good for you and your wife. Does that sound fair enough? Okay, great. Well, I can tell you for sure, that I will be there for you, and you sound like a person of your word. So I could imagine, that, you guys would be there as well. You could say something like that. But there's one more solidification you could tell them. You could say, no, that's on interviews. I'm sorry. So after that, then you'll, then at the end of the phone call, I heard some phone calls yesterday were pretty good where the client said, thank you. That's how you know you made a good call, is when the client says thanks. So I said, okay, so Joe, we'll look forward to getting out to you and your wife, Mary, tomorrow between 6 and 7. And you got to repeat that date and time a bunch of times as well. So between 6 and 7 tomorrow, which is going to be Tuesday the 20th. All right. And I'll see you guys tomorrow right between 6 and 7, and we'll get you guys all squared away. Sound good? I'll see you guys tomorrow. I look forward to meeting with you and your wife, Mary, tomorrow between 6 and 7, and we'll get you guys all caught up with everyone else. We'll get you guys all taken care of. We'll get you guys all squared away. We'll get you guys all taken care of. So I always end it with, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow between 6 and 7, and we'll get you guys all caught up. Sound good? We'll get you all squared away. Sound good? We'll get you all taken care of. Sound good? And I always do that. And then they always say at the end, yeah, thanks. That's how I get to thank you at the end, is by building it up. But you can't really say the date and time too many times. So that really helps solidify it, making sure they have it written down and getting it on there like that. The one thing I would say is Joe, Mary, they do not reimburse us for our gas money, so, I sure would hate to drive all the way out there and miss you guys tomorrow. So I just needed to make sure that, 6 and 7 worked good for you, so that's what I would do if I was driving to the homes. You could definitely throw and I always would say, they have me coming all the way out from, and I pick an area 2 hours away. You know, like if they lived in Chicago, I'm like, they have me coming all the way out from Springfield to meet with you guys. You know, right? They actually have me in town. I'm actually coming from Springfield to meet with all the members. You know, so I sure would hate to miss you guys. They don't reimburse us for the gas. So while I'm out there, just need to make sure that 6 and 7 work good for you and your spouse. Right? So you could throw that in there as well. Those are the things I did to help me, you know, get a better show ratio.
Do you say your full name every time you call? You're like, hey, this is Tom Vita.
Oh, yeah.
This is Tom Vita.
Oh, yeah.
I've been getting a lot of like kickback if I say my full name.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just like, I want to know how you go about like.
Yeah. So we had a guy named Sokol Fazlio.
Yeah.
Sokol Fazlio, right? He called people and said his name was Max.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about just giving myself like a white name and like saying like that and being like, hey, my name is Brian.
Yeah.
And then these guys are like, Brian's coming over and
honestly,
are you Era?
Honestly, man, I mean, Sokol changed his name. I think it was like not Max. We were joking. I don't think it was Max Power, you know, but we were thinking like, we got Max Power right here. You know, it was a good, strong, like, you know, name, you know, right? So yeah, I have no problem with that at all. You know, we've done it before. We had to, you know, some people, we had some foreign people that, you know, their name was so long and it was just more, it was causing not the right effect they were looking to get. So we just had to change it to like Brian, you know, or something like that, right? So whatever you want to make your alias as, you know.
Robert?
Right.
I go with
whatever you want to do.
whatever I want. If I'm talking to Latino clients, it's Raul and
Now you're thinking.
there you go.
Yeah. So, but that's a real story, and I could have you talk to Sokol anytime about how he went about that too.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, for sure. So, but yeah, I always give him my full name, make him write it down. Right. Good question. Did that help at all? You know, I think I hear some people on the solidification, they're doing it, but we're not slowing down and doing it like to the nth degree. It's kind of like, so you're all, I hear us doing it. Like, so Joe, tomorrow we're all set up. I'll see you guys between 5 and 6. Hey, by the way, is there any reason why that time wouldn't work for you? No? Okay, great. I'll look for you. See you after 5 and 6. See you tomorrow. Fine. You see how it's not slowing down, right? You got to slow down a little bit. And it's like, so Joe, tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow between 5 and 6. We'll get you guys all caught up. Now, Joe, I just had to ask you, tomorrow between 5 and 6, is there any reason why you and your wife wouldn't be available at all? No? Okay, great. So tomorrow we're going to be set up on a Zoom call. So I just had to make sure between 5 and 6, is there any reason why you guys wouldn't be able to hop on the Zoom at all? No? Okay, just need to make sure. See, I did it twice with them. Is there any reason why you wouldn't be available? And then they say no. And then I say, okay, well, I'll be meeting with you guys right at your home tomorrow between 5 and 6. So I'll be in your area. So is there any reason why you guys wouldn't be there at all? So I asked them twice. And then when they say, no, we'll be there, I say, okay, great. I just needed to make sure, because if I give this time slot to you, I can't give it to all the other members that are waiting or that need their benefits or that are waiting to get their benefits. So I just need to make sure that time work good for you guys tomorrow. Now, Joe, I just want you to let you know, they do have us coming all the way out from wherever, you know, give them a 2 hour far place away. They have me coming all the way out from, you know, south, it's from east, wherever, east, what's it called? What's that place called? East St. Louis. That's far as heck from here, right? You know, right? They got me coming from Peoria. They got me coming from Champaign, you know, give them an area. And I just needed to make sure that time slot worked good for you, because they don't reimburse me for gas, and I sure would hate to miss you. So 6 to 7 works good for you, right? Okay, great. So you can add on as much solidification as you possibly can at the end. It can't hurt. You know, it's not going to hurt.
Like I know you can like, oh well, you know, I give this time to you. It's like instead of driving out, they know it's just a click of a button, and that's more avoidable than going out to their house. So what would you suggest to like make sure they're on Zoom and they feel like they're taking people's spots if, you know,
so I definitely say if I give this time slot to you, I can't give it to someone else. So I need to make sure this time works good for you, you know. And you could even say, you won't even believe this, Joe. but I actually had a meeting with a client and to get their benefits out, and we set up a time for them to do so. And it was right through Zoom, so it was really easy for them too. And you wouldn't believe it, but I went on to the Zoom, and they never got on the call. And what caused to happen was I couldn't meet with them. And then, because of that, I wasn't able to meet with another family. And now 2 families end up not getting their benefits because of that situation. So, I just wanted to make sure that 5 to 6 work good for you. If not, I'd want to make sure that we get a slot that does work, because I was sure, hey, to miss you guys. Is that a good one? Okay.
I was like, oh shit, that's right.
Like they're going to show up on that one. You wouldn't believe it. And I don't think you're a man of your word. I don't think you would do that option. Stuff does come up. I understand. However, so that's just being more real with the people. Right. Now, that's something that I did when I was booking interviews too. I would tell people I was booking interviews. I'd book an interview for someone and I'd say, so, tomorrow I'm going to be able to get you in for the interview. It's going to be 10 o'clock right at the office. That's going to work good for you, right? Any reasons why you wouldn't be able to make it? Okay, great. I sure hate to miss you. If I give this time slot to you, I can't give this to one of the other candidates that are looking for a career opportunity right now. So I need to make sure the time slot works. So there's a lot of people responding. And that's what you could say in these things. That we have so many members that have been requesting their benefits. You always throw that in there. We have so many members we're trying to catch up with right now. It seems like we're always behind, right? So always got to have that part of your repertoire as well. But I do that in recruiting. I said we have so many people responding to our ads that the time slots are full. We only really can meet with serious candidates at this time. So if I give this time slot to you to meet with our managing director at 10 o'clock, is that going to work for you? Is there any reason why this wouldn't work? Okay, if I give it to you, I can't give it to someone else. And then I'll go like this. I'll go, and Joe, you wouldn't even believe this. And I don't think you would ever do something like this because you seem like a man of your word. But I actually set an interview up with an individual, a gentleman the other day to meet with my hiring director. And we set all the time aside for everything. And the person, they never showed up for the time that we set. And they never even called to let us know. Would you believe that? And what was hard for me was that my managing director set aside all this time to meet with that person. And to be honest with you, they were pretty upset with me for making them set that time aside. So, whatever, I just wanted to make sure that this time worked good for you. So I would book an interview with people and I would tell them you won't believe somebody actually did this to me. I don't think you would do this. And then my hiring director, he was actually pretty upset with me because he had all his time set aside to meet with that person that he could have met with some other people for the career opportunity right now, So that's a couple things you could add into your solidification at the end. But always remember, you can't solidify, and this ain't my words, okay? This is one of my old managers, okay? He said you can't solidify a piece of, you could imagine what I said, POS. You can't solidify a piece of crap appointment. So if you don't set the appointment right, then you could solidify all you want. They're still not going to show up. So you got to have the enthusiasm. You got to have the professionalism. You got to have the precision with your words. They got to feel you, and all that stuff has to work for the solidification to work. So if you steamroll somebody, it's steamrolling somebody into a time. We all can steamroll somebody into a time. That's not going to be the best thing. Oh yeah, 5 to 6 works good for you, right? Okay, I'm just going to put you on my schedule between 5 and 6, and we'll get you in there. Okay, sound good? Okay, great. And you're just talking over them, and they're like, sure, go ahead, put my name down, bro. That's going to make you feel better. Meanwhile, they don't even. And then you're like, go ahead and write this down. And they're like, sure. Oh yeah, I'm writing it down. Yeah, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? You can do that on the phones. You can steamroll somebody yeah, good. I got 3 appointments. It's just set. You didn't. None of them are set real appointments. They fake you out. They don't even plan on meeting with you to begin with. So, if you set it right and then you solidify it right, that obviously helps. With that. But you're still going to have no shows. Still stuff's going to happen. I'm not the best on the phone, but me, I get it. I get people no-show me all the time. And I've spent extra time with people, build rapport with them. Stuff happens. But I don't give up on them. I don't give up on them. If they no-show me, I feel bad for them. And I'm like, wow, they must not know what they're missing. So that gives me more motivation to get in front of them and show them what they're missing. Most people are going to downplay us when we call them. They're like, this is not important. I'd rather go make my chicken noodle soup. Their chicken noodle soup or their cookies that they're going to bake tonight for Halloween, buying Halloween candy is more important than meeting with you at this time frame in their mind. Just so you guys know, they're not thinking of how important this phone call really is. Meanwhile, when I call them, I know that ahead of time. I know that this phone call is the most important phone call that this person has ever received in their lives, right? And I know that. But one thing I also know is I know that they think it's the least important phone call they're ever going to receive. They're trying to shrug me off like it's nothing and not important. It's not their fault. They just don't know, right? So it's this crazy conundrum of a situation where we have someone that they just don't know, and they think it's one thing, and we got to somehow get in there and show them, no, buddy, this is what it's really all about. And I have so many people that I've met with that have told me this. Tommy, I didn't want you coming to my house. I didn't want anybody coming to my house. I was nervous. I was going to not buy. I was telling myself, don't buy anything if this guy tries to sell you something. And I can't tell you how wrong I really was. Actually, they said, Tommy, I was nervous about you coming. And now I'm so happy that you came. Tommy, I was about to call and cancel this appointment. And I'm so happy that I didn't. I didn't really know what this was all about. And I was almost about to cancel this. And I'm so happy that you came. You took the time. Took the care for me and my family to break this down. Like literally they're lost souls, they're lost puppies that they're thinking one thing and it's completely wrong. And we have to, it's a hard job. It's an uphill battle that we got to fight to protect people. They said when Bernard Rappaport passed away, the founder of our company, they said in his eulogy, Bill Clinton was one of the people that spoke at his funeral. And Bill Clinton said that that Bernard Rappaport spent his whole life trying to push rocks up a hill. Spent his whole life just pushing rocks up a hill, right? And at the end, Bill Clinton said, he said, we found out? We were those rocks. We were those rocks. It's an uphill battle if you're on our side. If you're going to fight our side, you're going to probably lose more than you win. We're fighting the good fight. It's an uphill battle. And these people are the ones, there are rocks. We have to work hard. And our clients, literally, we're pushing them up the hill. Like that's how crazy it is. It's a true servant mentality. Knowing that they don't know what they don't know. And it's our job, to really, it's an important job. So when stuff happens, you gain more passion and it sucks that way. I wish that you could watch the movie or somebody else can tell you about it. But, the best passion you're going to get is from your own personal stories, and it's happened to me so many times. I've seen so many people and that's why it's for me, the passion and talking to people about their life insurance is I'm sold. Like you guys know enthusiasm, right? Everybody knows enthusiasm. Did we go over this before? Probably, right? Enthusiasm. If you spell the word enthusiasm on a sheet of paper, go ahead and write it down. If you write the word enthusiasm down, ENTUTHU, right? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, right? So what I was told is if you look at the last four letters of enthusiasm, it says IASM, right? Those words, those letters stand for words. They stand for I am sold myself. I am sold myself. And people that are sold on what they're doing have more enthusiasm than people who are not, right? So, and to the level of belief that you have, and to the level that you're sold on what you're doing, is to the level that you're going to be able to sell other people and get them to believe in what we're doing as well. And sometimes that don't happen until something happens, like you have somebody close to you pass away, or you meet with a client and then you sign them up and then they pass away the next week or something. Until you have your first death claim, or until you met with a client and they don't get coverage and then you find out they passed away, that's even a worse feeling, because you go back, what could I have done more in the home? Why'd I bite my tongue, right? Why'd I bite my tongue in the home? Don't bite your tongue in the home, guys. If you have something to say to these clients, you have to say it to them, and sometimes it's the, you're gonna have to tell them stuff they don't want to hear sometimes. The people that you care about the most, you got to be real with them. You have to be real. So what you can say to a client, guys, is you can say this, Joe and Mary, can I be honest with you? Can I be real with you? Don't be afraid to pull that out in your presentation. Can I be honest with you? Can I be real with you? And if you build good rapport and they know you're a real person and you're just being real, like this is Tommy, he's being real, he's speaking from his heart, I can tell, you know what I mean? If you say that to somebody, can I be honest with you? Guess what you're allowed to do after that? Be honest with them. You can say anything you want to them. Literally anything. And remember, you could always, and now there's another thing that says you could say anything with a smile. So if you're smiling, you can really say something if you want to keep it really real with them, But now, why would you keep it real? Why would you be honest with them? Because you care. Because you care enough. Like, dude, listen, I don't feel like even saying this to you. It's kind of uncomfortable for me to say this to you. It's not my demeanor. It's not my personhood. I'm a nice guy. I'd rather be having coffee and us talk about the football game this week, But like right now, there's an issue. And if I don't talk to you about this issue, who is going to talk to you about this issue? Who is going to lead this person? And I do that for my friends too. I have some friends that their dads aren't in their lives, and I see them making some bad decisions, and I have to call them up and call them out and be hard on them, like hard on my friends, like my best friend. Like I'm super hard on towards like, no, bro, like me and you are going to go to blows. Like we're going to probably fight over this, or we won't talk anymore if you keep doing this shit. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with it. You know what I mean? Like I had to tell my friends that shit because I knew their dad would never do it. Their dad would never keep them straight. Their dad lets them do whatever the hell they want. Nobody, I look at this guy, I'm like, if I don't keep it real with him, I looked at every person in my man's life. Nobody's going to do it. There's nobody in my dude's life. There's nobody in his life that would even care enough to say these words to him. That has the care to say this to this person. That has the balls to say that to him, if you know what I mean. Because you're my boy. You're my boy. What do you think I want to be saying to my best friend? You think I want to be harping on him, getting up his ass, arguing with my best friend? That's not what I want to do. But he's making major decisions, major problems. Decisions he's making is bad. So if I could, I'd rather pick my boy up. We go to the bar, get some wings, watch the Steeler game on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Hang out and chill out. That's what I want to talk to him about. But if I do what I want to do, guess what it's going to do for him? Nothing. If I do what I want to do with my friend and chill and just talk to him and never press the issue, never call him out, never be real with him, who's going to do it? That's the problem I run into with some of my friends. I look at their family. I know their family. I know their friends. And I know nobody's ever going to keep it real with this person if I don't do it. It sucks. Dude, I do not want to do this right now. Like, I don't. I got a whole bunch of other shit going on. Like, you're my boy. We're supposed to be hanging out. But over my dead body, I'm not going to let this shit happen. So that's just care. So the same thing with these clients. The same thing with the clients. I don't feel like, having these conversations with them. I don't feel it, but I got to keep it real with them, because if I don't, let me ask you this. When's the next time that this client is going to sit down with somebody who's a professional and talk about getting life insurance to protect their family? Because how hard was it for you to get in front of them? Yeah. Think about how hard was it for you to get in front of them, and you got the best presentation and you're presenting with them. And now it was so hard enough for you to get them on the phone, get in front of them. Now it's hard enough for you to sell them. Most people aren't going to be able to get back in front of them ever again after this. And if they do, if you can barely sell them and you're the best, good luck, Chuck. Good luck. Right? So that's my mentality when I'm meeting with people, is I'm like, dude, it's now or never. If I don't tell it to them now, they're never going to hear it. And if I do leave this home and they don't buy from me, they will know what they needed. They will know that for sure. Like, my goal is if they don't buy, they know what they needed to buy, and they know where they're at and where they need to be, So, so that's two things you can say. Can I be honest with you? If you were my mom and dad, this is what I would recommend. Can I be real with you? Here's two things. Can I be honest with you? If you were my brother, look at them, however it is, if they're your age, if you were my brother, in fact, this is what I set up for my sister. Like, this is what you can say to them. Like, if you were my uncle, this is what I would, in fact, this is what my uncle has, similar program like this. If you were my parents, like if you were my mom and dad, this is what I would recommend for you. And then you treat them like family. If you were my grandma, this is what I would recommend for you. So if you build good rapport and they trust you, when you say this is what I would recommend, it means something to them. Keep in mind, we have a fiduciary duty to the public, and we have I don't know what they call it. There's something about, there's another word, but we have more knowledge on this subject than the client does, right? Therefore, we can do a lot of good, or we can do a lot of bad with the advice that we give the public. So what happens when it comes to life insurance is the public is down here and we're up here. So we get held to a higher standard. When I was a financial advisor, I had to get a Series 66, and that allowed me to be a fiduciary, which allowed me to give advice to you and your family, but also it allowed me to be held accountable for that advice. So because by being a fiduciary, you look at me and you take my advice because I'm supposed to know more. And if I give you bad advice and you take that advice and your family gets hurt financially because of that advice, you can come back and sue me now. That's how it works, right? So he could pay me $1,000 to do a financial plan for him. I do the financial plan for him. And my advice in the financial plan was to get $100,000 of life insurance. Okay. The financial plan, though, said that he needed $600,000. So he needs $600,000, but I decide I'm just going to tell him to get $100,000. So Andres is like, you know what? I'm going to get that $100,000. I did exactly what my guy said to do. Then he passes away, and his wife finds out that they only had $100,000, which barely paid, like, not even the mortgage. And now they go into major financial devastation, okay, because of this. So now they're dealing with a bankruptcy. Single mom, lost her husband, going through bankruptcy. They hire a lawyer. The lawyer goes into all her financial stuff and finds this. Hey, what's this? A financial plan. You paid Tommy Vena $1,000 to do a financial plan for you. Let's see what this thing says. So you get $100,000 and you got it. Well, based upon my calculations, you should have needed 600,000. He gave you bad advice. We got to call this guy up, and you paid for this? I wonder if everybody's still in there. Yep. All right. Nobody got kicked out. My phone died. That's why you got to have two phones. Okay. So we can keep it going. And what time is it, Brian?
It is about 1:45.
Okay. All right. We still got a couple more minutes. What were we just talking about before the phone died?
Fiduciary.
Oh, the fiduciary. Yeah, you could sue me. You could sue the person for that. Now, we're not held to that accountability because we don't have Series 666 and people aren't paying us for their financial advice. Okay. But that's kind of where you sit with this stuff. Like they're literally like looking up to you when you go into the home for the advice, so make sure you understand, your role out there on that. So it's a lot easier in your presentation when you have a presentation that is consistent. I don't know where you're at right now with your presentation, but typically when you get released, you only know what you know. So all you know is to do the script, do the presentation, boom, it works, right? 2-3 months go by, you learn, you start adding stuff, switching stuff, changing stuff, thinking you're making it better, right? And sometimes you might be, but I mean, right, you wrote out with who, Vince or somebody recently?
Yeah.
And they went over your presentation?
Yeah,
right?
I did a sale for 2 weeks, and right after, I think I popped off like $7K in a week.
Yeah, right. So that's a great story right there. Right has tough time. Was like week or two without making a sell. Vince rides out with him, goes over a couple things.
Very
Next
cool.
week you wrote 7K, right?
Yeah.
What were the things? What was it?
It was like very little things. It's
Little
not
things.
like my tonality and like very little parts. It's how I was explaining to them. What I was doing was trying to explain it to them because I was sitting down with lesser qualified people at the beginning originally, being directly in the city. But then I'm going out now in the suburbs where there are people a little bit more affluent, a little bit more knowledge. I had to change my pitch to not be like abrasive and saying like a little bit but more, hey, no matter, even if you say you know this, I know you don't know this. So I'm going to keep doing it and not act like you already know it. And that's what I was doing because I knew a lot of the people I sat down with originally didn't know what they had or how it all worked. And then these guys, I just, for some reason, I thought they might, but they really don't. They have no idea. You can show them universal policy, and they'll be like, yeah, it's whole life. No, it's not. Yeah.
So you always got to assume they don't know.
Yeah, and that was one of my biggest things, to assume they don't know and explain things just a little bit slower. Show them.
He was assuming that they knew because they were a more affluent area or something because it wasn't the ghetto, it wasn't in the city. So you can't assume that they know. You obviously got to always assume that they don't know. That's the worst thing, is assuming that they know what you're talking about. Assume they don't know. Go back over it again. Use multiple analogies. By the end, if they don't buy from me, I'm like, what did I miss? I must have missed something, but I know I didn't miss something because I go over everything pretty thoroughly. So it's really, what did you miss on what I was going over? Let's figure that out, and I'll go over it again with them. Like, so where did we miss? Because we went over that, right? You're good on that. You understand this. You know what? Let me go back over to freedom of choice. I don't think you guys got that. Let me go over that again. And I'll go over to freedom of choice again. So remember how you talked about the funeral? Well, the costs were, right now, but they're going to make the cost over in the future. They're going to go up because of inflation. So, and I'll pull it. And like, he's sitting there like, you just went over this with me. I literally just went over this. Like, let me go back over it, and I just go over it again like I never went over it with him. I'm cool with explaining it 2 or 3 times to the client to make sure that they get it, So But, you know, a lot of times you'll find that after 2 or 3 months, you add so much stuff in that your presentation isn't even your presentation anymore. It's just a whole bunch of just stuff, and it might be almost too much stuff. And you might want to cut it back down because it's like a burger. You all know the burger analogy. If you put too much stuff, like if I put ketchup and mustard on my burger, I'm going to be able to bite that. I'm going to taste the ketchup. I'm going to taste the mustard, right? But if I put ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, relish, tomato, lettuce, you know, peanut butter, hot sauce, you know, peanut butter is really good on burgers, by the way. Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Can I guess this?
Little side thing, you know. I learned that in Miami at the Fountain Blue, man. I got a burger and they put peanut butter on it, and I was sold. Yeah, man. Shake Shack, yeah. So you can learn about that stuff. But now the more stuff I put on, guess what happens to the flavors? It gets diminished down. I can't. What is this? Is there even a burger in there? Right? So you can't put too much sauce on your burger. It's going to make it too much, right? So your presentation that you meet with these clients, it's like serving up a burger. Think of your favorite burger from your favorite burger place. You know, if it's making your own one on the grill, right? And you're trying to serve up a burger to somebody, you know, what's it look like in your mind right now? Think about that, right? I like to toast the bun, you know, whatever you guys like to do with yours, right? So I throw it on the grill, toast the bun. You know, you all got your own things we like to do with it. Put different cheeses on it. Some people do spicy cheese, you know, whatever. Well, your presentation, the most important part of this whole burger is what? Is the patty. Without the patty, we just got bread and some toppings, right? So the script, that is your script that you use. That is your patty. That's the patty. That's script, you know. And then all of the stuff that we do, the stories that you tell, the personality, your cologne, the way you smile, the way you have voice fluctuations, tonalities, jokes, personal stories, the way you build rapport, all of that stuff, those are your toppings that you dress up your burger with. You know, everybody's burger is different. You know, you might dress it up with a story about how your grandfather passed away, and then you're going to tell jokes about how when you grew up, your parents, you know, always made you, you know, wear ugly sweaters to school or something. Like, and it works in every home, and that's good for you, and you freaking run it, and that's a topping on yours, and you keep serving that up, right? Everybody has their own toppings that they're going to add, and you got to figure it out. You're like, dude, I keep putting stuff on my burger, and nobody likes these burgers. Right? We better change the toppings then. Stop telling those stories. You know what I mean? Change those up. Stop telling those jokes. Let's get different jokes, whatever it is. So that's the thing. Now here's the thing is, so you got your burger, that's your script, right? The patty. And then your stories are the toppings. Your personality is the toppings. Your own stuff, that's the toppings. That's why we hired you to be you. You want to run it on that one? 2 minutes for what?
Are you using the opportunity for that?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I want to put it on like 10 minutes prior.
2 minutes. All right, cool. Oh well, that's good. I could end this. I can land the plane here for us. Drew's kicking me off the meeting. So the land the plane though is what you want to think about here is what people will do is they will take the script out and they'll put their stuff in place of it. Right? And what you don't want to do is you always want to keep the script there and you want to put your stuff on top of it. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. You don't put your stuff in place of it. You put yourself on top of the script. And the best way that it made sense for me was when someone told me like this. They said, Tommy, you wouldn't take a chunk of the burger out and put ketchup and mustard where the burger was, would you? Of course not. Well, that's like taking some of the script out and putting your stuff in place of it. So you always keep the script there. You put your stuff on top of it. So that's when it all like kind of clicked for me with that. And remember, we're hiring you. You know, you're here to be you. You know, so add your personality to it. People are going to buy you. people buy you and they buy confidence. So when you combine together, you have a confident you, right? They want to feel confident at the end of the night. And listen, if you got Andres and you got American Income Life, you can sleep good at night, right? Don't worry, you can sleep good at night. You got me, you got this great company. Anything you need, I'll always be there for you. You know, instead of going and buying that, they were going to go this weekend and they were going to go get the new Tempur-Pedic mattress and get a $100 pillow. I said, don't worry about that. You'll sleep good at night with this. This is better than any pillow, any Tempur-Pedic mattress, you know, right? And you can help them sleep better at night. Make sense? So, so that's it for today, guys. We have till Monday to close this month out, and we are right there. And it will take everybody contributing. We will not be able to do it if everybody doesn't come to play and contribute and help move this team to the next phase. So I'm excited, guys. We're off to a great start this month. Let's finish this out in the fourth quarter, guys. All right. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Vena.
Have a great day today. See you guys.
Thank you.
You guys got the chairs that you brought in.
Yep. Get out on the wheels.